Yeah, yeah. We just chillin' and vibing. Good conversations with good people. Oh, good conversations with good people. Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of Chillin' and Vibing Podcast. Our guest today is the definition of empowerment. She's breaking barriers, inspiring others, showing what it means to lead with courage, hard work, and she bleeds black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
You
I
know
present
it.
to y'all Miss Erika Jackson. What's going on, girl?
Hey, what's going on, Larry? Thank you for having me.
Hey, I
Sorry if the
appreciate you.
connection is slow and I'm on the high seas right now because season's about to start and I got to sigh for a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You gotta enjoy life a little bit.
Yeah, I got to.
So Erica, where you
Got to,
from?
got to. What's going on? I'm originally from Pittsburgh.
Oh, so you from Pittsburgh? Oh, that's why that's your home team.
I'm
Okay, I see, I
from
see.
Pittsburgh.
So
Born and raised.
who is your favorite Pittsburgh Steelers of all time?
Of all time, that's a tough question. Um, I would probably have to say, and this is based off on and off the field, is Franco Harris. That's probably my all-time favorite. And I actually got a chance to meet him, and he literally, sat with me one-on-one for an entire hour at this event. And we just talked about, just about life, about his career, about Pittsburgh. Really cool fact is that I have a great uncle, not by blood, but he was my grandfather's best friend. My grandfather was the best man at his wedding. His name is Bill Nunn. His son, Bill Nunn Jr., was an actor. He was Radio Raheem. He was also in School Days. But his dad was inducted into the Hall of Fame during COVID. He's passed. He's since passed, but he was inducted into the Hall of Fame as a scout for the Steelers. And so we talked a lot about him, and we were able, he was inducted because he was the one that really started going down into the South, going down to the HBCUs, and really picking players for the Steelers. And that's really how the Steel Curtain originated, was from Bill Nunn. He was a very pioneer when it came to scouts and the Rooneys, who have been a great owner, from what I understand, allowed him to do that. And everybody knows about the Rooney Rule, and it's just he. So we got a chance to talk a lot about that and chit chat, and he knew him, and just a really down to earth guy. But what is the number one NFL play of all time is the Immaculate Reception, right? So,
Hmm.
but he's like my ultimate favorite. I think my next favorite would probably be Jerome Bettis, who's a good friend of mine. And he's not just one of my favorites because he's a friend, but just because he was a freaking beast,
The bus.
right? Yeah, they ain't call him the bus for nothing. Um, but just I look at players, what they do on the field and off the field, and so that's how I really can judge my picks on that.
So how was it growing up in Pittsburgh for you?
I had an amazing childhood. It's definitely blue collar. I mean, it's changed a lot since I've been there. I moved out after I went to Pitt. I moved out of the city, and but we had a great time. It was just a ton of fun. Uh, we literally bleed our sports teams. Like Western PA, like we love our Steelers, we love our Pirates. Back in the day, when I was growing up, it was Bobby Bonilla and Barry Bonds on the same team. Like that was pretty dope.
Hmm.
And then we had the Penguins with Mario Lemieux. So like all year was like really sports focused, especially for my family, because we all played and dibble dabbled in some type of sport or whatever. But the one thing that I really appreciated, it was the fact that um as a black kid, um being able to experience those games, not just on TV, but actually going to these games, like they actually took us places. Like it wasn't expensive to go to a football game or a baseball game. We always had something to do, you know, whether it's playing basketball. I went to a great high school that was, very well known for sports. Aaron Donald came out of the high school that I graduated back in 93, which is telling my age. Um, but there's so much fun. Pittsburgh is a great city. It's a great city. Um, and I just had a really good time growing up in this city. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful city. And some people either got you love it or you hate it. Like there's really no in between. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's definitely blue collar.
So you say you played sports. Was you a cheerleader?
I cheered for 1 year. That was in eighth grade. And I was like, because I was like, I don't want to do sports no more. I was playing AAU basketball and I was kind of tired of that, but it just kept drawing me to the sport. So I cheered for like literally 1 year and then I played basketball for the rest. So that was pretty cool.
Your passion for football, when did it start?
Mhm. Probably before I could even remember. Because like I said, my grandmother had a Super Bowl, not Super Bowl, a Steeler party every single Sunday. When I say every single Sunday, I mean every single Sunday. We had Steeler parties every Sunday with the whole spread. We had the relish trays and the food, and just the family would get together. And I think that's why really it's not like that anymore, which is, I try to do that with my kids, but back in the day, like when you would um do things like that, it was so family focused. And we just all just came together, just as family. Like even to this day, like I'm on this cruise ship right now with family. Like I'm not with friends, I'm literally with a few of my family. And so but that's kind of how I got into it. I didn't know anything else, right? And then I was a tomboy, and so I always wanted to play with the boys, and I was rough and wanted to, I wanted to be in the action. I didn't want to be no damn cheerleader on the sideline. I think I cheered because my girlfriend was trying out for cheer, and I tried out for cheer, not thinking I was going to make it because I couldn't do a split. But I tried out and I made it. And so I did it for that. My mom always said, if you do something, you have to commit to it. And so that was the only reason why I cheered for that 1 year, because I made the team. But it wasn't like I wanted to play. And so I did it for 1 year, and then I went right back to basketball, and that was my life.
Did you first get involved with PYLON? How did that start?
So my cousin Baron, we're first cousins. Our moms are sisters. He started Pylon a long time ago. It wasn't even called Pylon. I don't even think he had a name when he first did it. He was basically just he was a amazing football player, Western PA. He had a ton of scholarship offers, um, and he basically could have gone wherever he wanted to. It came down to a high school combine, and he ran a bad 40, and in doing that, he lost a lot of his scholarship offers. And he ended up at the University of New Hampshire. And but when that happened, he got like when he graduated on the All-American team. He just got inducted into their Hall of Fame a year ago. But when he was done and graduated college, he was thinking, there has to be a better way to really identify talent, not based off of a 40, not based off how high you can jump or how you throw the ball. Because, like, any day could be a bad day. You can run a bad 40 any day. Um, and he was like, there has to be a different way to really look at talent other than just doing that. And so when we started and he started, he was calling kids and just putting them on two teams. And we had one event one weekend, and it was at Rutgers University. And I think the word just got out when coaches started finding out about it. Um, they were like, "Hey, well, can I bring my team? You know, is this something I can bring my team to?" Coach Crosby out of Philly, can I bring my team? And he would bring his team, and it started to get a little bit bigger. But what I can remember, how I ended up getting involved, because at the time I was living in Los Angeles, and they were like, "Hey, can you bring this out to the West Coast?" And so he looked into Las Vegas, and when he because Baron and I are like brother and sister. Even though we're cousins, we're like brother and sister. We fight like cat and dogs, but we love each other just the same. um he I went out there to kind of see what it was like and see what he was doing. It was at this park, and it was so funny because he was literally on a plane to Las Vegas and got a message that his field wasn't available. So he had like 16 teams. They ain't have no field. But he was able to call somebody, got a field. So I went, and one of those 16 teams was Snoop Dogg. Snoop had bought his team. And he had just started his reality show. And so it kind of blew up from there. And like when Snoop was out there, and he's come to several events, came and he coached it. Like it wasn't about his celebrity or anything like that. Like he really coached. And I think that kind of took off because, now Las Vegas is our biggest event, which we call the Mecca. This past season, we had 224 teams over the course of 2 days. And I mean, it kind of just blew up. And so Barron had a business partner at the time. And when he left, he called me and was like, can you come to this event and help me run this? And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, to be honest. Like, it was like kind of really, really crazy. And I'll never forget the first day I really went and really helped out and started helping out. I was giving out uniforms at the time. Badger Sports was our sponsor. We would give out uniforms. Like the lines would be long. This was before anybody was doing Club 7-on-7 events. Like there was nobody. So everybody was coming to our events. It was so packed. But I was getting cussed out by the coaches and stuff. And I'm like, oh, no, I ain't doing this. Like, this is not for me. I was crying. I was cussing Baron out. I'm like, dude, like, what the hell? Like, this wasn't cool. And so there was many times I kind of like wanted to quit. But what really drew me back in was the fact that I loved seeing the underdog, and I'm always a fan for the underdog. And when I say the underdog, that doesn't necessarily mean you the worst player. Just people just don't know about you. Um, People that know me know I'm not a fan of rankings or stars, 3, 4, 5 stars, because really, many people who give you those rankings never even played football a day in their life. They're just basing it off your stats, what they know about you. But we got hundreds of more kids out there that can do the same thing, and if not better. So that was what I love to see. I love to see people who no one knew about or anything like that, and would just come out and really tear that field up. And then now all of a sudden, guess what? Now they're playing at Alabama because nobody really knew who Tua was until he played over in our event. He was with a small team called Hukilau Cafe and out there in Hawaii. And it was just like, okay, well, wait, well, who's this kid? You know what I mean? And it's just like those are the kind of stories that I'm a fan of and love to to hear. So I definitely kind of stuck around because of that, because I like to see where these athletes go to. There's a lot of athletes out here nowadays that I've seen play knee high that are now on the NFL Sunday ticket, right? Or
Yeah.
playing in the Big Ten or playing in the national championship. I see a lot of those players. And obviously they're there on their own merit. But I also like to say that we're somewhat of a stepping stone or a platform where they're able to participate and be seen and go to college for free and do something of themselves.
When you first started Pylon, what was your vision for where the
Mhm.
organization can go?
Honestly, my vision initially when I first started, I had no vision. I was just doing what I was told to do, and until I got into a position where I was able to make decisions. Um, one, the vision, it's kind of hard because you know what? Somebody asked me the other day, somebody interviewed me for their student paper at USC, and they said, what would you do differently if you knew what you were getting into, or you knew what the outcome has been? Like, what would you do differently? And when they asked me that question, I thought about it, and I honestly said I wouldn't have wanted to know anything, because I'm gonna be honest, if I knew what I know now, it's likely that I would have never done it. I probably would have shied away from it, and really not saying, like, you know what, I don't want to deal with the headache of it, because it's tough, right? But my vision now is that, look, we know how to run a football event, right? Because basically what we are is we're a youth event company. But there's so many more aspects to life in football that I feel like we, Pylon, have a responsibility in also being a vessel for that, whether it's financial literacy, whether it's NIL, whether it's NCAA. Like, you'd be surprised how many kids and how many parents have no idea what they need to do to get a scholarship. Like, I had a friend, her son is a senior. He's missing several classes to be able to play football in college. And it's just like no one's teaching them that stuff. My vision now is to go outside of the actual play of football, and to really start to educate, or bring in educators to educate athletes and parents on what to do now, what they have to do, because NIL is a thing. I'm not a huge fan of NIL, especially the way that it's structured. What to do once you start receiving all this money. I've talked to coaches that have teams that are current NFL players, and they're like, man, when I talk to their kids, and they're like, man, I wish somebody really talked to me about that. They say they go into the NFL, they have one class on financial literacy when they first start, what to do with their signing bonus. 9 times out of 10, they're taking their signing bonus, they're buying jewelry, they're buying cars, they're trying to get their parents out of debt, and now they have no more money. Or now they're injured and now they have no more money. So my vision, starting with the young kids, is my vision now is way more different than what it was. And it's just life and football. It's not just football where it was before. So my vision is to actually try to cultivate something where you're just not showing up on a weekend to throw a ball or run a ball, or to do a backflip because you made a touchdown. That's not my vision anymore. It's a whole. It takes a village. There's a whole lot more to do.
No, I'm glad you said that because, me coming to the event, I noticed Pylon it's not just about football. It's about community, and I see how y'all help the kids and trying to encourage them, not just to be good on the field, but off the field also.
Definitely. Like, when I see the kids don't realize who's watching them. You never know
Yeah.
who's watching. And we have D1 coaches from top schools at our events, but that's because their kids are playing, right? Their kids are playing, so they're coming out to watch their actual kid, their son, play. But you never know who's watching. And so, I'm always telling kids, what y'all fighting for? This is freaking 7-on-7. Like, what's the beef about? Like, this is just ridiculous. And you would never see that on a high school field. Like, you guys wouldn't do this on a high school field. You guys wouldn't do this on a college field. So why are you doing it on my field? I'm very strict. They'll tell you that I'm no nonsense. So if you come to an event where I'm at, it might be a little bit different than one that I'm not attending, because I don't play it. I don't do it.
Nobody got time for that.
Nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that.
What's your favorite story of an athlete whose life changed through Pylon?
Oh, I got a good one. There was this kid, and I cannot remember his name, and he played on a team in Texas, and their team was located kind of like on the border of Texas and Mexico. He was a kid that woke up in the morning, went to the farms with his dad before he went to school. That's how they made their money, right? He played on a 7-on-7 team, and that year, that particular year, we had our nationals in AT&T Stadium, and his mother called Barron and was like, "Hey," the mom was like, "Look, my kids' team qualified to go to nationals, but they are not going. My son's dream is to play a game of football on the field at AT&T Stadium. Is there any team that would accept him on their team?" Right? This is the end of the season, right? So we call one of our coaches from our hometown of Pittsburgh, because Barron's from Pittsburgh as well, and it was Coach Will with 412 Elite. And Barron was like, "Look, I got this kid. I don't really know how he play, but this is his dream. Do you have an extra spot on the roster?" Coach Will was like, "I got a spot. I got a shirt, but I can't tell you he's gonna get a whole lot of playing time." Barron was like, "Can we just get him a snap?" Right? And we were like, he was like, "Yeah, I can get him a snap." They drove from Pittsburgh to Dallas. Kid came up with his mom. And this kid balled out, okay? No one knew who this kid was. He balled out. He played damn near the whole time on at the stadium. Like he played a lot. But the great thing about that story, and like I said, no one knew who he was. And pretty I don't think anybody's going to really remember who he is, but when he left that field, he got an offer to a D2 school. So he got to go to college for free, and he was the first one in his family to ever do it. And that's why I like doing what I do. That those are my stories. Those are the stories that I like to tell. I have a can you still see me? Cuz I want to read something to you. Can you still hear me even though you can't see
Yeah,
me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So I want you to hear this. And I'm going to beep the guy's name. I got a text yesterday from a coach, and I'm gonna bleep out the team name, and I'm gonna bleep out the boy's name. It says, "I want to give a huge thank you to the PYLON 7-on-7 organization for giving this particular team athlete, let's just say Jerome Smith, the opportunity to compete. Through your platform, he gained confidence, went up against top competition, and carried that momentum into the season, where he dominated and earned a scholarship to Abilene Christian. We truly appreciate everything Pylon does for players and coaches. Thank you for helping our guys grow on and off the field." I got that text yesterday, and I get a lot of those kind of texts, and
That's
that's
dope.
what I love to do. Isn't that so dope? Isn't that
Yeah,
like amazing? Those are the those that's why I still do what I do. That's why I haven't gone to work at a college or, do anything else, because
I can see you.
I just love the kids. I just love the kids.
Eric, I can't see you still.
Can you not see me?
No.
I can see you.
Turn the camera off and turn it back on.
Okay, hold on. Do you see me?
All right, I can see you now.
Okay, good. But yeah, those are the kind of stories that we hear a lot of, actually, and the ones that really matter to me the most.
That's what's up. That's man, that's dope hearing that, man. Like I know that keeps y'all motivated to
Mhm.
keep pushing even harder.
I know. Oh, definitely. It definitely it keeps you motivated, because when it comes down to it, I think the worst part of this job is dealing with adults, right?
Agree.
And you got to deal with just the banter with them, and it's just like, man. And then kids feed off of, adult energy a lot, and they don't realize, like, literally, like, these kids, whether they're 17 or not, they're still sponges and they're still learning. And, we just got to do a better job in making sure that they're doing the right things. Like kids will tell you, I'll come up to them, I'll be like, how your grades looking? You keeping them females away? Because they'll come out. That's a serious situation. I straight up tell them life
Yeah.
things that can happen. I don't hold it back. I'm a mother of 4 daughters. People ask me all the time, you don't have any sons? I'm like, I have thousands of sons. They're all my sons. I treat them as they were my children. I don't sugarcoat anything, and because I want them to know what they need to know. I'm not ever going to steer a child in the wrong direction. I'll give my advice, and hopefully, sometimes it may be great advice, and sometimes it may not be too great of advice. But I definitely have a heart, like just to make sure that I'm doing the right thing by them.
Speaking of advice, what advice would you give to the young generation?
That's a loaded question. In regard to anything in particular?
Life, life,
Wow.
life.
Life, you know, life is what you make it. You have to be prepared on the decisions that you make, whether they're good decisions, bad decisions, or indifferent. I always tell my daughters, just because one door is closed doesn't mean another one is. Don't, if you really truly work hard and have a great work ethic, um, you can literally write the story of your life. You can literally write it in the way that you want it, and just be diligent and just be, you're gonna everybody. Even now, I'm 50 years old. There's things I wish I would have done differently last week, but you learn from everything, and it's what you do and how you absorb it and what you can do to you know to to make the best decisions that are for you. Also, I also like to say this though too. um it's always, I am a strong believer in therapy and life coaching, and I
Hmm.
think that starting kids young, especially in high school, because there's so much life going on. Social media, your parents, your friends, your coaches, there's so much going on, and sometimes you need kind of like a balance, something even killed, to just kind of like keep you grounded. And I highly suggest that sometimes you just be able to talk to somebody outside of the normal people that you talk to. Um, and because I am a true believer in therapy and good mental health, because life is no joke out here in the streets.
Life be life, and life be
But
life.
just life be life, and it's not always the end all be all, right? So it's just like, always create paths for yourself. Never be a follower, always try to be a leader. But as you lead, you want to make sure that you're doing it respectfully and you're doing it with grace, and you offer people grace, because everybody, we're not perfect out here, and we learn every day something new or something different. And be able to take that type of criticism, it's just it's a lot. When you say advice for the young people today, it's a lot. Life, like you said, life be life, and there's a lot to life.
So the schedule is up. Out of all the locations y'all going this
It's
year,
up.
which one you most excited going to?
Well, there's one on there that it's not on there that I'm really excited about going to. That's going to be, and we're going to announce that sooner than later. Um, but you know what? The Mecca is always one of my favorites. The Mecca is always one of my favorites, and the reason, and it's not just because there's a lot of teams there, but it's because it's the diversity of the teams. We got teams from Canada, we got teams from Hawaii, we got teams from the southeast, from the northeast, they all come and congregate into one area, and it's really to see who the best of the best is. And I love it. I love the fact that every year it's not the same winner. Just like the
Uh-huh.
NFL, right? Like right now, who can we tell who's gonna win? We don't know. Everybody's a hodgepodge right now. But my Steelers are gonna
Yeah.
go to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna say that. But anyway, but I always have a great time going to the Mecca, and I think because I'm able to really see all the teams in one place congregate together, and I'm able to talk to all the coaches and the players, and it's just exciting. Like it's just a whole different vibe. The energy is just so cool, and so that's like one of my favorites.
Erica, I'm gonna let you get back to partying on that cruise ship. I appreciate you for coming to chill and vibe. But before we go, let everybody know what we doing.
We just chilling and vibing.
Appreciate you.